Welcome back to the TheVisionLab podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Cuffey, alongside my co-host, Mr. Ryan Mosley. TheVisionLab is the official growth mindset podcast for all visionaries worldwide, showing mad love to the cigar community. It's here in the lab where we uncover people's visions and dreams and how those dreams actually come into reality. Folks, it's all about tapping into and becoming the absolute best versions of ourselves through self-discovery, self-examination, and self-actualization. Yo, I'm super excited about this. I would say this is almost a year in the making since we talked to the other homie. Shout out to Big Bro Jameson. And making the connections and everything. But Mo, we got a weird show today.
Oh man.
Who we got on the show?
Today's guest is a native of Connecticut.
Yeah.
He is easily one of our favorites in the cigar community. He is easily one of the most recognizable people on social media in the cigar community. Visionaries, please welcome the Cigar Rockstar to the VisionLab podcast. My man.
What up?
Man,
what up?
I can't beat that intro right there.
No,
Come on
listen,
now,
bro. This is long overdue. Certainly honored and humbled to chop it up with you.
I appreciate it.
We've been looking forward to just good energy from you too, bro. We talked real briefly about kind of being a weirdo, and we're all the same age, right? And it made me think about middle school, junior high, and high school on how challenging it was to be different back then. It's totally different 20, 25 years later, on what we're dealing with now. But what was that like for you growing up and using your words as a weirdo?
It took a lot of growing pains for me. At first, when you do things on your own, and I mentioned before, I went to an all-black high school. So, low economic status people. So you can imagine your fellow students and friends.
It's extra crispy up in
Man, come on, man. So when you got a guy walking in with painted nails and blonde hair, I've always been like this. It's a little bit different.
What was it about you that wanted to be different, or why is it that you are quote unquote different? Now, I wouldn't say you're different. You just got a really eclectic.
Yeah, that's a good word.
That's
a good word. Yeah, I just say people ask me all the time. I'm just being me. It's just being me. I don't really care what people think. I do what I want. It makes me feel good. You know what I mean? I'm just being me. So it is against the grain. I do realize that it's against the grain of most
back
folks.
then.
Yeah.
I don't think now.
Yeah.
I think now it's
less now.
Yeah,
but it still is. I stand out amongst most folks. So it's still a bit different.
I love that you said, being comfortable in your own skin. And to learn that at such a young age when, there's visionaries that are tuning in right now that probably still struggle with that to some degree if they're in a corporate setting or they have to project themselves as a certain image in front of, a public eye.
Yeah.
Like, how did you learn to be comfortable in your own skin?
Well, it took a long time. One thing I learned, you can't please everybody all the time. Like, even if I was regular or whatever, somebody's still gonna say something, or somebody's still gonna hate, or something. It's gonna be something said all the time. So, I learned that I got bullied a little bit, got picked on or whatever, but it got me tough skin, and I just kept going with it, and just being me. And you just can't please everybody at all.
When did you know? I shouldn't say not know. Let me rephrase it. When did you take a look in the mirror one day and say, "Yep, this is me, and I'm rolling with this forever"?
Man, it was probably like 10th grade, man. Really.
What cemented it?
Probably.
And before you answer that, did anybody influence you in regards to like your fashion sense and kind of how you carry yourself?
Well, I think I influenced myself because.
Come on now.
No. This true story. Like I guess another sappy story, or whatever. But it's alright. It's a true story. So I grew up pretty economically, not very rich at all. My mother was 19 when she had me. I was her third child. So of course you can imagine how I grew up and all that. So I used to just start taking the hand-me-downs and making them to how I like them.
Yeah.
And that's what the creativity started then. I was getting hand-me-downs that wouldn't fit, or I didn't like how they looked, so I cut something in them, or cut the leg, or
You were your first tailor.
Yeah, that's what it was. And it just stuck with me the whole time. And I've just always been my own person.
How you mentioned the word creativity? How else do you show your creative side, your creative genius?
Mostly through fashion and style, I think I do a pretty good job of like giving back to the community as well. So last year I teamed up with somebody on the West Coast, my boy Rob, Warrior Cigar Network. We did a Christmas drive. We ended up getting like $5 grand between here and San Francisco.
Wow.
We raised like $5 grand. And so that I felt that was a good need, good drive to show a difference. So it's always been really good.
And what was that based off? Like, how did y'all raise it?
Off GP.
Really?
Yeah, we're just like, hey man, we gotta do something Christmas. Let's give back. You want to partner up? And we both talked about it, and we linked up. Also, I'd be remiss if I don't give Smoking Sarah 757 on Instagram. Smoking Sarah was actually a huge influence for that. Right now, she has Purple Tober going on.
Yeah.
For domestic violence, you know what I mean? So she was a huge help in that. But just me and Ron just linked up and thought it was a good idea. And we did the thing.
Before I ask my next question, Cuff, allow me to say thank you and congratulations again to Edwina Brown and family here at
We
Blowin
are
Smoke.
in the building.
Yeah, the new location.
Open.
1604 North I-35 here in Lancaster, Texas. If you're anywhere here in the southern part of the Metroplex, make sure you get to Blowin Smoke Cigar Lounge.
It is beautiful too. This is my first time.
Oh, it's awesome. It's a beautiful facility. Like, the old place was great, but this
great
is
space. And that humidor is amazing.
Yes, absolutely.
It's amazing. Yeah, I like to see that she grew up. It's great.
She said she grew up.
Well, she grew a lot. I mean, the old place is small.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So she, I don't know. It's
stepping up. Every level up.
That's what it is. I don't mean nothing bad about it.
No.
ED definitely doing the thing.
Yeah, for sure.
So, you 10th grade, you're like, okay, submit. This is me, right? Inevitably, now you're cementing who you are internally. How do you go about finding your way, right? Like you said, you're one of a lot of kids. Was the military something that was just like, all right, this is kind of like my way out, if you will, or did something happen to where you're like, I gotta do that?
Well, I've always been a loner, right? So I didn't have any aspirations to go to college. I mean, I was a jock in high school. I really was. I was the captain of the football team. I was the captain of the wrestling team. I was like all state and track, all this mess. But I just didn't have the aspirations to go to college. Maybe my parents never brought on me that much. I just didn't have the aspirations. And a recruiter came to me and was like, hey, what do you want to do? I told him what I want to do. It sounds good. And I chose the Marines because I thought it was the toughest. I mastered high school, I felt like, physically. I mean, all state and all that mess. Top 3 in the nation type stuff. But, so I wanted something that kept challenging me physically, and I wanted to travel the world and maybe somehow pay for college one day. And that's why I joined.
And I'm in awe of your mental fortitude and not necessarily strength, but like how you develop cognitively at such a young age to be like, look, this is cool. I have all these accolades, all state. I was wrestler and did this, that, and the third. But to say that doesn't mean much is being fulfilled on the inside. Who inspires you to kind of be the best version of yourself?
I don't know. I would have to say. I actually had a good raising by my mother, man. She grew up me up with a lot of morals and values. I was one of those guys who went to church every Sunday and Wednesday, so I used to go with the choir practice. I was a mama's boy big time for a while. So I don't know, man. I was sorry to give all kudos to my mom. She raised a good dude and put me on the path that she did, that I became a man.
So now can we get into his role in current day?
Yeah, I think it's time. My thing is, you look at you and, you say eclectic weird. I think it's just great fashion sense. Like,
thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
Well, it's a standoff between him and James.
But it's different.
The two most dapper dudes we know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So, for those that don't know, Cigar Rockstar is a pretty big influencer in the cigar space. When did you start smoking cigars? Let's start kind of from the foundation.
I had my first cigar when I found out that my mother's child, my child's mother was having a girl. When I found out I was having a girl. So me and the fellas got together and they bought me some cigars and we celebrated when I had a girl. And that was 15 years ago. So.
And you said your mother's child?
My child's mother.
Okay.
My daughter's mother.
Okay. So you celebrated her having another kid?
It was congratulations having a girl. The fellas brought me in.
Right.
I told them I was having a girl. They were like, congratulations. They took me out. We had some cigars. And
fell in love with it.
Yeah.
What was the first cigar you smoked?
Oh, you don't even want to know, man. It was one of those you see on the shelf at a liquor store. It was unbanded. Yeah. But that did it. That did it.
So, now that you're this influencer in the cigar world, and we've had other influencers on our show from social media, kind of talk about the responsibility that you take on your own to project and what you're trying to project. Like, what's your message as an influencer?
Man, you know what? I started. I just wanted to take some dope pictures and look out, smoke some cigars, and then I got into looking out for the black community because I'm a big fan of boutique sticks. I'm smoking one now.
Shout out to the good guys.
Yeah, for sure. And I thought it would be a good way to, especially since the whole George Floyd thing happened. I thought it'd be a good way to recognize different cigar brands that didn't have a way, didn't have one known. Everybody knows about Cohiba, and hopefully ain't name dropping too much. You know what I mean?
No, you're good.
Everybody know about all the big Perdermos and Cohibas and Davidoffs and all that. But there's a lot of great sticks out there. This is one of them that a lot of people don't know about. So I wanted to start taking pictures and doing all that and help promote the little guys. And also a little confidence boost in me a little bit.
And you don't seem like
sometimes
one that
I be looking
lacks
cool on it.
confidence.
So.
You don't seem like you lack confidence, though.
Sometimes I do. It's a feeling for me. It's a feeling. You can count that confidence if you want to. If I'm wearing something and I don't feel good about it, I'll take it off. If I'm doing something and I don't feel good about it, I'll stop it.
So it's about energy.
Yep.
And the vibe.
Exactly.
And that's kind of what you look for when you started, taking pictures with cigars, etc. What energy vibe do you get from some of these boutique cigars? Or cigar brands, I should say.
Well, it depends. If I know them personally, that makes it stick even better. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so if I know them personally, or I have a Whiskey Wednesday show on Zoom, I meet them and I smoke their cigar, or I meet them out at a trade show or in Vegas or whatever, and I smoke it, it makes it that much better. So the energy is when it's rolled and you meet the person and their idea behind it and why they rolled it and what's in it, and it definitely brings a different vibe when you smoke it, for sure.
When did you know that you actually carried some weight? Because a lot of people say, "Hey, I'm an influencer, right?" But then when it comes down to it, they don't.
I still don't know if I do. But,
you do. You do.
I still don't know if I do. It does feel good though whenever you're out, in a whole new city, and somebody be like, "Hey, what's up?" Maybe you can cut line privileges or something like that, or some free drinks or whatever it may be. It does feel good, but I still don't think I'm there yet. So.
I love your humility for sure.
Playing it so cool.
It does. I mean, you just
I'm being 100
cool.
though. I'm being 100.
Yeah. So let's talk about.
I'm a family man, bro. I'm a family man.
Okay.
I can't do too much.
All right.
As are we. Come on, man.
Let's talk about energy.
Hey, y'all are super humble. What you talking about? I know what I'm talking about.
Man, we just trying to get people like you on the show to help influence others to have that confidence in themselves, to not be so afraid of being yourself, your true self at all times. And so that's why we had to have you on the show, brother. I mean, like I said, I think what you're doing in the space is incredible. For traveling, I don't know if you travel all over the world, but definitely travel all over the States.
Yep. Sure.
As you're traveling, are you partner with Jameson?
Yep.
Right? Are y'all looking for events that fit your energy levels, or do you just take everything that kind of comes your way?
Well, usually, I will say I do travel quite a bit. It's usually, people don't think it is, but it's usually business travel. I'm traveling for a purpose. If it's to go to a cigar event, it's to network there and to maybe, get some more cigar vendors in my pocket or whatever it may be. It's usually traveling for work purposes. It doesn't seem like it, but that's what it literally is. When I go somewhere, I'm networking or I'm invited. Sometimes I do get flown out or whatever it may be. It's usually, man, it's all about the lead, man. Meeting people, networking, chopping it up. No matter what, it's all about the lead. We can have differences all day, but the thing we got in common is lead, and we can agree to disagree, and that's okay. You know what I mean? We're all out here having a conversation, having some smoke.
You're talking about the leaf, and that's obviously how we all got connected. How has that opened doors for you in your personal life, or social media life, or professional life?
Oh man, tremendously. Tremendously. I've never met. There's so many awesome people in the cigar industry. So many. I've smoked with movie stars. I've smoked with athletes. I smoked with some guy walking off the street. He just want to sit down after work and have a smoke before he go home. doctors, like all of them. So it's definitely opened the doors tremendously for me. But it's all about how you use it. You know what I mean? It's the guy that was coming off the street and spoke and just being to himself. That's what he's doing. You know, and something that I will say people seem to be drawn to me a lot of the time. So that helps when I'm smoking a cigar and we start some conversation and it goes from there.
So, the first time I met him, I don't know if you remember, the first time I met you, you were with our good buddy Ryan Rayford. The first time I met you.
Yep.
And so, shout out to Ryan Rayford, obviously, Drew Estate. Absolutely.
Yep.
But I remember the first time I met him, and I made a note, and I thought at some point he's going to be on the show because he's very humble, and he's playing the soft-spoken thing. We know he knows he can have a good time with the best of them, right?
Sure.
I say all that to say, you're in this space now. You're an influencer. You carry some weight, right? When you're working with people, brands, cigar companies of the like, right? What are the things that you look for?
I like good people. Like if you're a good person, positive attitude, I look for personality. Like money doesn't talk to me very much. Yeah, it's nice, but I look for connection. I look for vibe. I look for personality. Straight up. That's just what it is.
Are you at liberty to kind of disclose some of the companies and brands that you work with now?
Of course, I am a Steve Madden ambassador. I rock a lot of Steve Maddens all day.
Okay.
Of course, I'm on
You gotta show
you
those.
show them all.
Don't take your shoe off.
You gotta be
These ain't nothing, man. These ain't nothing.
That boy steady flossing.
No, this is whatever. Of course, me and Jameson, along with another partner of ours, we Tastemakers Experience, we do cigar events all over the U.S. There's a couple more that's coming up, and nothing's been signed yet, but there's a couple more definitely that I talk to on a regular basis.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because last year it just seemed like, obviously being in the pandemic and COVID and whatnot, a little different from before. But it seemed like all these cigar weeks started popping off.
Yes.
And I know that you guys were very influential in a couple of different cigar weeks.
Y'all everywhere at the same time.
Yeah. Let's talk about some of the ones that you guys kicked off and what that whole experience not only is like for you, but like what it's like to actually get that off the ground.
It is way more work than it seems.
I'm sure.
Way more. Like people, they'll buy a ticket, they'll come to an event or a show or whatever, and enjoy themselves, have a good time. They don't know all the work it took, months and months, people dropping out, people coming. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. But it's great to see when it's finished. Like you see people having a good time. You hear people talking about it. They're reposting, they're retweeting, they can't wait. They're already asking about next year for certain things. Like the next day, they're asking about next year's dates and stuff like that. So it's definitely worth it. Meet a ton of people. And of course, if you do well, other sponsors see you doing well, they might want to tag along. More opportunity for you to grow. I think it's a beautiful thing. I know there's certain weeks that don't get along. I will.
We will speak on that.
I will say.
All our names are Paul, and that's between y'all.
Yeah. But man, it ain't nothing. We're coming together and having a cigar, man. I don't really understand it most of the time. But,
and what were some of the ones that you guys helped get off the ground?
Oh, of course. New York Cigar Fest was year number 3 now for New York Cigar Fest. It was actually a month-long celebration. Wow. There was one weekend where it was the major weekend, but it was month-long. Bacardi was there. Balcones was there. I'm sorry, not Balcones, Balvini. LFD, of course. Shout out to LFD. They're LFD, John Carney, he's a great dude.
Love LFD,
yeah,
bro.
He's a great dude. Masato Tequila, my man Rob Blau, he's traveling cigars. He's actually, so Masato Tequila is actually a black-owned tequila out of Houston.
Okay.
And a percentage of their sales goes to donate to the Boys and Girls Club.
Nice.
So of course I ride with them all day. I'm drawing a blank right now. I'm sure they'll come back up.
So you got New York Cigar Fest.
Yep.
And then did y'all do Atlanta?
So Jameson was part of Atlanta last year. I think this year they had creative differences, so he kind of did his own thing. There's going to be in the future. Hopefully, we'll do a little something in Dallas for a weekend. I think right now he's at Denver. He's at All-Star Weekend. Tastemakers has also done Super Bowl last year in Tampa. Before that, it was in Miami. And of course, LA is on the ballot this year, so it'll be in LA.
Gotta hit LA.
Oh man, I can't wait. I've been in LA this weekend actually doing some work, so we'll see how that goes.
He's mentioning all these companies, brands, people he's partnered up with. I'll be remiss if I didn't say thank you to the good folks at Class A Vodka. Crystal, Tim, thank you guys for all your support. Thank you for your product. Visionaries, get your hands on a bottle of Class A Vodka. We stand on it for a reason. The slogan is Class in Every Glass. The Instagram handle is at Class A Vodka. That's Class A with a K. We promise it'll change your palate forever.
For sure.
Get your hands on a bottle of Class A Vodka.
Yeah.
So you got social media. You do cigar weeks or fest or events.
Mm-hmm.
Within the social media realm, I mean, a lot has happened, right?
Yes.
It's just exploded over the last 4, 5, 6 years.
Yep.
How has that impacted you?
Oh, big time. Like I can't be in Miami right now, but somebody in Miami is probably looking at my page right now. I can't be in London. Somebody in London is liking my stuff right now, and of course it brings another. Like when I repost this, somebody all over the world, all my followers are going to repost. Someone going to repost, and it's going to get exponentially grow. All over the world, not just U.S., all over the world. So it's definitely beneficial. All I have is Instagram, one thing, but I'm a huge social media fan for that aspect. I usually do it for advertising type thing. But like I said, you can't be in London and Miami right now, but somebody right now can be watching your stuff.
Right.
So it's definitely a game changer when it comes to being.
How much has social media changed since you really dove deep into it?
It's got a lot more complicated, I think.
Yeah.
People take it too serious, I think. Like I don't take none of it personal. Matter of fact, I'm probably the block king, actually. So,
quick to hit the stiff arm.
Yeah, it's that quick. I think people take it too personal. They take it too real. I think a lot of people taking it as like a psychologist, like they're on the couch venting and stuff. I don't look at it that way. But it's at the same time, I'm saying these negative things, but I think social media is a great platform for everybody to grow, for everybody to network, for everybody to get their word out, to get support. I think it's a great platform. And you can definitely make some money. For sure.
So everyone's got a business hand, right?
Yeah.
Entrepreneur, influencer, everything. When we say the word vision, what comes to your mind? I felt that was the time to ask it.
Yeah. Like future projection. Like, what do you see yourself in 5 years? My vision is my vision. That's the thing. Like, my vision may not be palatable for most people, but it's my vision, and I'm gonna use my vision to make other people happy, or also to make some way for me. You know what I mean? So vision is that's a tough word.
When you say it's not palatable, is it not palatable because it's so big and it's scary, or is it because it's not palatable because you're gonna do something that people just don't expect of you?
I think that's what it is. Like I wouldn't say most, but some people, they want things done a certain way. I'm definitely against the grain on doing things a little bit different. So when I say not palatable, I mean, it's like a cigar. The cigar may not be palatable to certain people, but I love it. I love it. It's all the perception. It's all, subjective is the word. It's all what you say, how you feel about it.
How do you see yourself leveraging social media and you being an influencer? How do you see that evolving over the next couple of years?
Oh, I think you guys mentioned I'm pretty likable on social media type thing. I'm still nowhere near where I want to be. I think it's gonna leverage me to, of course, get more followers, get more sponsors, get more dollars, and of course, make other people look good. I'm all about advertising. So social media is less about me and more about other people. I do about me sometimes when I want to make a smile or make somebody smile or advertise something for somebody. Or if I'm liking my outfit one day, I might post a picture type thing. But I honestly mainly do it for other people.
Where are you at with TikTok? Because like I said, we're all kind of at that same age, and obviously TikTok is just
You speak for yourself.
exploding.
Y'all old.
Why is it?
However you want to put it.
But
Why?
how are you leveraging TikTok?
I do not use TikTok. I'm actually I'm not a big fan of TikTok, only because it's ran by China,
Okay.
and that's the only reason.
And that comes from the military.
Yeah. When Congress had to have a special session over if they're going to ban TikTok, if there's that many doubts about it, I think there's a problem. And of course, like I said, it's ran by China. So when you download the app, you give them permission to go through your whole phone. Can they access your pictures? Can they access your microphone? Can they access all that? You say yes to it. So right now, I just believe, this is me, no Illuminati, no Illuminati, no nothing, but I just think I'm just against TikTok because it's ran by the Chinese.
So, last week, the world shut down when Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, which are all on the Facebook, when it went down for a couple of hours. What were you thinking when it first happened?
Well, first I thought it was my phone.
I did too. So why is this not working?
So I actually restarted my phone. You know what I mean? I thought I needed an update or something. Then I tried again. Then I asked somebody else, like, "Hey, can you get on Instagram?" And they said they couldn't. But it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal to me. Times like that, it's a sign to me. Yeah, I'm gonna go and spend more time with my kids. I'm gonna go out there and make some more content to put on whenever it do get back up. Like, it's not wasted time. It's a good time for people to step back. It's some people need to unplug.
Yeah.
So that was a gift for it. That probably was a gift for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they need to unplug and make some more content. Go read a book. Go play with your kids or something.
Have a conversation with somebody.
I know. Off of Instagram.
Yeah.
Stop scrolling. Actually look up what you're looking up on Instagram so you can see if you're fact checking. Stuff like that. I think it's a blessing. I don't think it's necessarily bad.
You can't help it. If we were to only give you one accessory, what accessory do you have to have?
Oh, God. That's a good one.
And you can't count hats because we know you're one of the hat kings.
You say accessories, man. I'll say like bracelets.
Now, how does that quantify? Is it one bracelet or can you have 4 on one?
Do you got a couple favorites? Or I know you got a drawer full of them.
Oh, I got too many. Give me 2 bracelets. See, when I don't wear accessories, I feel naked, man.
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah.
Like something's missing. Yeah. I can have the worst outfit on the road, but if I'm rocking the right accessories, man, everything looks good. I'd say a couple bracelets. I don't need a phone. I don't really care about the phone. If it's there, I'm going to use it. But it's nothing for me to turn my phone off for a couple days. Yeah. Like, nothing for me.
So, you're talking accessories, and that accents the whole thing. Give us some fashion tips. How can we step our game up on that level?
See that? You know why I don't like when people ask me that? Because you do what makes you feel good. And if you want some modern tips, something that maybe be different, I can give you that. But do what makes you feel good.
Well, give us some modern tips.
Maybe it's confidence. Rock what you rock with confidence. Nobody gonna be able to tell you nothing. You're gonna feel like you look like $1 million. You're gonna smell like $1 million. Everything gonna be great. Yeah. I think what Deion said, look good.
Look good,
look good, feel good, feel good, play good. Play good, they pay good.
Yeah, I believe that 100%, man. I believe it 100%. When you get out of bed, you put something on, you feeling good. That changes your whole mood, man. Yeah. Change your whole mood, change your mentality. You might, you want to go to a round where you talking about a girl. It might give you confidence to talk to a girl you've been wanting to talk to for years. Or it might be give you that confidence, you're in that power suit to go in the office one day and be like, oh, I'm going to ask for that promotion today. So it's all about how you feel when you put it on.
When people go into business with you, they obviously know what they're getting, right? But have you ever had a meeting where you're like, okay, hey, let's go meet such and such, and when you walk in, do you feel like people say, whoa, like this is the real deal? Like, what's been like one of the interesting reactions you've got when you've actually had to walk into the room and deal with people?
All the time. I feel like hope not sounding too cocky.
No. Ain't no right or wrong answer. You just say, what's the truth?
Like, I feel like I think it's an energy thing for me. I feel like when I walk in the room, I'm giving off such positive energy, all these good vibes to everybody, and usually I bring life to the room. That's what I feel. And then you can see it when I walk in. Everybody look at me. They say something with their eyes. But I feel like usually when I meet a board of trustees or whatever, I feel like people are intimidated by me until I start articulating. That's what I do.
Now, are you rocking it like this in the meeting?
Yeah, all day.
I love that.
Well, professionally, I take my piercings out professionally.
Okay.
But other than that, this is me. This is me all day.
How long does it take you to put your jewelry, earrings, all the accessories like most say? How long does that take you to put on?
I don't think it takes long. It's when I know I'm rocking gold, I just go in my gold drawer and put some gold. You know what I mean? I feel like it takes longer to take off.
Yeah.
When you ready to get it off, it's like, what
It's a
I wear
workout.
all
It's
this.
a workout. Just
like,
getting dressed.
I just want to end the day. But yeah, I don't take long. I usually think about what I'm gonna wear like in the shower or something. And I'll piece it together. There we go.
Do you have a fashion icon or someone that you look at and like, okay, I like how they constantly are doing their thing?
You know, I think one of my favorite people is Cam Newton.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Of course, you know, Rockstar name. I like Lenny Kravitz. I like the way he dresses. I like the way a couple of rapper guys in Atlanta dress. But it's usually Cam Newton, I'd say, is I probably go to my way to look at his post and see what he's got.
And what is it that you're looking for? Just the swag, the fit?
It's mainly hats with him.
Okay.
And how he, of course, he wears slimmer fit stuff. You know, he's a tall guy.
And he's gigantic.
Yes. Yeah. Actually, I met Cam in Miami a couple years ago when Tastemaker Experience did a Super Bowl event in Miami. When the Super Bowl was in Miami, he was a special guest there. And he came in, and I had to walk him to VIP and all that. We talked a little bit, but he is a tall dude.
Oh, every person I've ever met that has met him in person, like, when you think about that dude's a quarterback, they're like, that's ungodly to be that big to be a quarterback.
Like he's 7'15" or something.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute, like this dude's a quarterback. He looks like a DN.
Yeah. He's a tall dude. So definitely Cam Newton is my favorite for sure.
Well, P, is it that time?
Oh yes, but before we do that, let me say thank you to the good folks at Dallas Sleep LLC. The entire army, right? It's too many to name. The website, folks, is DallasLeafLLC.com. The Instagram handle is at DallasLeafLLC. Cigars, charity events, entertainment, whatever it might be, give it to folks at Dallas Leaf LLC. We promise you won't be disappointed. Thank you guys for all your support. What's that?
They good folks too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they good folks.
Absolutely. They've been with us from the jump.
Yep.
So it is time to land the plane, and it is brought to you by the good folks at Grand Brulot Cognac. Thank you to Jameson, Francisco, the Lovers team, everybody's involved in this partnership. Thank you guys so much. Allow me to pour myself a little bit more. Excuse my voice.
And have
I've been on the phone all day.
You were with us when we did Jameson's interview, so you've had this before.
Yeah, of course. I've had it quite often.
I love that you're not a stranger to it.
Not at all.
So, where's yours at?
Yes, sir.
There it is. Boom. All right, so earlier we kind of talked about this in terms of, vision. And I'd like to know, where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Can you give that blueprint up?
You know what?
What's the long-term vision for Rockstar?
That's a good question, man. So I'm thinking as a dad point of view, if I get my kids through college, through high school and college, my world might change up a little bit. Right now I'm focusing on, making them successful young men and women.
Yeah.
I'm very much a family man, so I don't do as nearly as much as I can do because I am a single father type thing. So that means a lot to me. So in 5 years, I don't know. Hopefully, I'll have a pretty good annual event every year with cigars. Hopefully, I'll have a foundation to give back. I'm a huge fan of the Boys and Girls Club. I grew up going to the Boys and Girls Club. I donate anonymously all the time. The answer is, if the kids are gone, I get to spread my wings a little bit. If not, I'll reevaluate some things and take care of them.
It's coming soon, brother.
Yeah, for sure.
It's coming soon.
For sure.
So, one of the questions we ask everybody on the show, it's you, there's a round table. There's 5 other seats at that table. You get to have anybody else at your table The only stipulation is you can't have whatever religious deity you believe in. Outside of that, dead or alive, who you want your table?
Obama, for sure, number one.
Okay.
Man. Deion Sanders.
Why?
Because he
What's Dion? This Dion today
or prime time?
Prime?
this Deion today.
Okay.
He is so eloquent the way he talks about all the problems that black people deal with. That's why he became the coach at Jackson State. He wants to help young men and women. He wants to help young men become men. He gives back to the community. He knows what it means to grow up in poverty. I mean, and then make millions and blow that, and then Hall of Fame and all that. But everything he says, I just connect to. I grew up similar to him. He knows his word. He talks from experience. He talks real. He gives it to you straight.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
So we got Obama and Prime, Obama and Dion, Coach Sanders,
Mm-hmm.
Coach Prime.
Coach Prime.
Get it right.
Coach Prime. This might be a different one, but Oprah.
We got Oprah on the show.
I like Oprah. Really? Okay. Okay.
We'll put it out there and put that good energy out there.
Yeah. It's a good question.
We got 2 more seats left. Got 2 from Chicago, 1 from Florida.
Let me think. Probably my old boss.
Interesting.
Yeah, he kind of took me under his wing, man. Like, so, I hate getting all sappy and shit, man. But I grew up without a father. Period. And I felt like he was the first one to I don't know, talk to me man to man, teach me certain things. Whether it's about buying a house or changing oil in a car or political or how to treat a woman. Like, he gave me so much life game and life advice, and he never just if I made a decision that was messed up, he never got mad at it or disciplined, or he taught me about right or wrong, or maybe what it could be.
He taught you from a place of reason.
Yeah, for sure. And most people nowadays, they'll yell and kick and scream at you for doing something. Well, look, what I do wrong? Teach me. I didn't know. Teach me. And he was the one who definitely did it. So shout out to Shannon Johnson, man. Shout out to Shannon Johnson. He's a great dude.
One more.
Dead or alive?
You know what? The nerd in me would say Albert Einstein.
That's a good one.
Albert Einstein.
I had him one time. Right?
So
He's like the second person to Einstein.
I'm a scientist by trade, man. So I'm definitely a science guy. He's definitely a genius. So I'm with that all.
All right, so I would be remiss, and that's a hell of a lineup, by the way. I'd be remiss if we didn't give you the opportunity to drop your social media, specifically your Instagram. Anyone that's not following you that wants the opportunity, how can they get a hold of Rockstar?
Well, since you're opening the table there, so
Yeah.
I usually don't care about stuff like that, But of course, I'm Cigar Rockstar on Instagram. I'm part of the Tastemaker Experience, tastemakerexperience.com, Tastemaker Experience on Instagram as well. We do events all over the country. CigarRockstar.com coming soon. I just trademarked it, so
Come on now.
we're gonna see what that do. That's all it is. You might see me in a town near you pretty soon, smoking a cigar.
There it is. Make sure y'all holler at him too. All right. As we land the plane, I ask this question to every single guest on the episode. In case you didn't know, we have a magical time machine here in the lab. Okay. What advice would Cigar Rockstar be telling himself from 5 years ago?
Oh God, 5 years ago. That's a good one.
It gets better.
5 years ago. See, 5 years ago I was homeless. So
Were you really?
about 5.5 years ago, yeah.
How did that happen?
So, all right, so I'll say about 5.5 years ago. So December,
2016?
Yep, December 2016. I graduated from college, and I met this young lady, and I moved in with her. The country I was living in, it was very hard to find a job. Very hard to find a job. So I left everything from the States to be with her, me and the kids, and didn't work out, so I had to come back here, and I had no place to stay when I came back.
You couldn't go back up to Connecticut?
I don't have any family in Connecticut. I didn't always get along with my mom. I asked my mom if I could stay with her. She said no. So I came back here. I had a little bit of cash, so I bought a car real quick. Because you need a car. You can always sleep in your car and drive to work.
And you have your kids.
Yep. So I had my kids for a few days, and I knew my situation was bad, so I let them stay. Their mother lives in Missouri, so my kids stay with their mother. I have legal custody of my kids. I have them since they were 2 and 3 years old. So they stay with her for a couple months until I can find a job, get back on my feet, and stuff, and get a couple paychecks. But yeah, I was in my car for a little bit until I.
Okay, so you were out of country, moved back home.
Yep.
I got to do what I got to do. Kids, you go with mom for a bit.
Yep.
How did you dig yourself out? Like, help our visionaries understand that we already know it's not easy.
Yeah.
But we often say that this is the blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
So for anyone out there that may be struggling, that you just happen to catch this video, first of all, you're here for a reason, right? Give them the blueprint.
So I would like to say this. So if I can for a second. So I am a black man in America. I know what it is to struggle. I mean, I mentioned before, my mother was 19 when she had me. I was her third child. So I struggled my whole life. Just stay with it, man. Like, your time is gonna come. Just stay with it. Like, just keep trying. When somebody tells you no, go to the next. Like the job I have now, I applied to 50 jobs, like 56 jobs. I applied to 56 jobs, and 3 of them said yeah. I mean, I happened to move to Texas, but man, just stay with it. You're gonna be down, you're gonna be out. You're gonna think about going back to the streets type thing. But man, just your time, just stay with it. Pray a little bit, pray up a little bit, and meet the right people. Keep your head up. Stay professional. Just keep grinding. I know it sounds cliche.
Yeah,
it's the truth.
That's what it is, man.
It's
Come on. Like let's put it in y'all hands. If y'all would have did y'all first podcast had 2 viewers, would you have stopped?
No.
Exactly.
Because you know something's better on the other side.
Keep grinding. Just keep going. Keep grinding. Keep going. I mean, that's all I can really. That's what I did. It worked for me. Little bit of chance, a little bit of opportunity, and now I'm here, man. I don't know. I don't know what to say, man. That's just what it is. I just kept going. Just kept going.
And we hear that message all the time. It certainly rings true.
And I
it's
hate
not a
those.
secret formula.
It's darkest before the dawn.
Oh man, I hate that it sounds so cliche, but that's literally if everybody's saying it. I mean, that's what like I do.
How'd you keep your spirits up?
I don't know, man.
I mean, you got 2 babies.
I don't know.
3, 4 years old, or whatever.
So they definitely saved my life. They definitely saved my life. Like if it wasn't for them, I probably would have gave up a long time ago. I know I had to provide for them. Like I said, I had custody. Like they were living with me, so I had to have a better life for them. And I didn't want them. I didn't want them to live the life that I had. I wanted to provide a little bit more for them. And so my goal was to get them through college. You know what I mean? So it's
how difficult? Because you've had them since they were 2 or 3.
2 and 3 years old. Yep. My son was 2. My daughter's 3. Now they're 14 and 15.
How hard was that?
I got other kids, but the two live.
Right. Yeah. How hard was that for you to, I don't want to say give them up, but let them, stay with their mom while you go figure things out?
It was hard, but I just knew it needed to be done. I can't have my kids sleeping in the car, bro.
It is what it is.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like you gotta, sometimes you gotta take 2 steps back to take 1 step forward, or sprint to the finish line, or whatever you want to call it. And it just had to be done. It had to be done. And she was understanding at the time, and she missed her kids. I have them all the time, so it worked out.
That's incredible, man. I commend you. Like, I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said,
bro, I've been through a lot, bro.
Yeah.
I've been through. I try to mentor a lot of young men because, I've been there. I've been there. Like, there's nothing you can. There's not very many situations you can tell me that I haven't been there.
That's
not very many. I do career days at school all the time.
Yeah.
Well, before pandemic, of course, all the time because I'm a black man in America that was at the bottom.
So what would you tell yourself 5 years ago?
Just stay with it. Stay with it, but that's what I did. So I've always told myself, your time will come. Don't give up. I believe in karma. All I feel like I do is good for everybody. So just stay with it. Just keep the path. Stay with it.
Sound sage advice, if I could use your word. Now we're going to fast forward the clock. We're going to make you 5 years older. Okay? So kids should be in college or out of the house or right about to be.
Yeah.
What advice is the older version of Cigar Rockstar? What advice is he telling you today?
Probably probably financial advice, as in investing type things. That's probably my weak link. Stock market investing and like growing legacy money. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So,
Well, he might tell you to check out the VisionLab podcast Behind the Dollar.
Come on, man.
Where once a month we drop some financial literacy from all different aspects. But before the shameless plug, in all seriousness,
you guys have guests when you get financial joint?
Yeah, absolutely.
I might have a couple plugs.
Yeah, we'll get that hooked up.
For sure. Definitely got a couple plugs.
Before we conclude today's episode, I just want to say thank you so much for picking up the phone. I mean, you're true. As you say, I mean, you just got great energy. I always enjoyed chopping it up with you.
Thank you, sir. Likewise.
Very happy to have you on the show. Remember, visionaries, if you like the content that you've heard today and the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. Each one of our guests, no matter who they are, dropping nuggets of wisdom here on the Trail of Life. At the end of the day, guys, it's up to you to pick them up.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Mosley. He is Ryan Cuffey. Thank you again to our guest, Cigar Rockstar.
Yes, sir.
We will see you guys next week on another great episode of the Vision Lab Podcast.
Blessings.